Daniel has $38,000 sitting in his checking account, and for 3 years he has not moved a single dollar of it. Not because he doesn't know better, he does. He has read the articles, he has bookmarked the accounts, he even opened a spreadsheet once, named it Sort This Out, and never typed a single word into it. The spreadsheet is still there, empty, waiting, just like him. Daniel is 34. He makes $71,000 a year as a graphic designer. By every number on paper, he is doing fine. And yet, if you asked him how his money is actually doing, he would go quiet. Because somewhere underneath the comfortable salary and the full checking account, Daniel is bleeding money every single month. And the strangest part is this: he is not bleeding it by spending too much. He is bleeding it by doing nothing at all. This is the trap nobody warns you about. Everyone talks about overspending. Almost nobody talks about the cost of standing still. Let me show you what doing nothing actually costs Daniel, line by line, because once you see it, you cannot unsee it. Start with his subscriptions. Daniel pays for 2 streaming services he stopped watching last year. He pays for a cloud storage plan he upgraded for 1 project and never downgraded. He pays for a fitness app he opened twice. Add it up, and that is $46 a month leaving his account for things he does not use. He knows about every one of them, he just never cancels, because cancelling means logging in, finding the setting, confirming twice, and he will do it this weekend. He has been doing it this weekend for 14 months. Then there is his car insurance. Daniel signed up 4 years ago and has renewed automatically ever since. He has never once compared prices. A friend with the same car and the same driving record pays $38 a month less for the exact same coverage. $38 every month for the simple crime of not making 1 phone call. Then there is the big one. Daniel carries a balance of about $4,200 on a credit card with a brutal rate. He has the cash to wipe it out. It is sitting right there in checking. But moving it feels like a decision, and decisions are exactly what Daniel avoids. So every month, that card quietly charges him around $88 in interest. $88 to borrow money he already has. Add those 3 together, 46 plus 38 plus 88. That is $172 a month, more than $2,000 a year, gone, not to a shopping spree, not to a vacation, not to anything he can remember or enjoy, gone to inaction. And that is before we talk about the raise. Daniel has not asked for one in over 2 years, even though he has quietly taken on more work than anyone on his team. He figures he is underpaid by maybe $5,000 a year. He knows it. He just cannot bring himself to start the conversation. Another decision postponed. Now here is the part that should bother you. There is a woman on Daniel's team named Priya. Same job, same salary band, same brain, more or less. Priya is not smarter than Daniel. She is not more disciplined. She does not love spreadsheets. But last spring, on a single rainy Sunday, Priya sat down and did the thing. She cancelled the dead subscriptions in 20 minutes. She switched her car insurance in 1 phone call. She moved her cash to kill her card balance. And on Monday, she asked her manager for a raise and got most of it. Priya did not do anything brilliant. She just stopped waiting. The gap between Daniel and Priya is not knowledge. It is not income. It is the distance between knowing and doing. And that distance, multiplied across months and years, is the most expensive thing either of them will ever own. So why does Daniel freeze? It is not laziness. Daniel works hard. The truth is quieter and more human than that. Every one of these decisions feels small, so none of them ever feels urgent. There is no deadline on cancelling a subscription. No alarm goes off when you overpay for insurance. The cost of waiting is invisible, paid in tiny monthly slices you never feel leave. And so the list grows, and the longer it grows, the heavier it feels, and the heavier it feels, the easier it becomes to close the laptop and tell yourself, next weekend. Paralysis is not really a money problem, it is a weight problem. The decisions you are carrying are heavier than the decisions themselves. So here is how Daniel finally got unstuck. 3 moves, that is all it took. First, he got everything out of his head and onto one page. He sat down for 90 minutes, no phone, and wrote down every money decision he'd been avoiding. Not solving them, just naming them. 11 items. Seeing the whole list in one place did something strange. It shrank. The monster in his head was always bigger than the monster on paper. Second, he gave himself permission to make good enough decisions instead of perfect ones. Daniel used to freeze because he wanted the best account, the best rate, the optimal move. Priya taught him a better rule. A decision that is 80% right and actually made beats a perfect decision that never happens. Good enough today wins. Third, he refused to do it all at once. 1 decision a week. That was the whole plan. Week 1, the subscriptions. Week 2, the insurance call. Week 3, the credit card. By following the boring rhythm of one small win every week, Daniel cleared his entire list in under 2 months and freed up more than $2,000 a year he had been quietly handing away. And here is what surprised him most. The money mattered, but the relief mattered more. For 3 years, that empty spreadsheet had been sitting on his chest. Every time he opened his banking app, a small voice whispered, "You should really deal with this." When the list was finally done, that voice went silent. He did not feel rich, he felt light. That is the real prize hiding behind financial paralysis. Not the dollars, though the dollars are real. It is the freedom of not carrying 100 unmade decisions everywhere you go. Most people think wealth is about having more. A lot of the time, it is just about finishing what you have already started. So if there is a spreadsheet somewhere named "Sort this out," empty and waiting, you already know what it is costing you, not someday, every single month. The good news is that the first decision is always the hardest, and after that the list only gets shorter. If you want to see how this same quiet bleeding shows up at the grocery store, there is a video on this channel about the bulk buying trap that pairs almost perfectly with this one. And one honest note before you go, this is not financial advice. It is a story meant to make you think. For decisions about your own money, talk to a qualified CPA who knows your full picture.